It's Wednesday morning, May 11th, at about 11:15, and time for an update. We don't talk too much about this one, but it's still wrapped around the pole here, and if memory serves me from last year, well, it's just going to take a little while, but it's going to start climbing. Let's see what we've got. The watermelon, pretty much the same. The broomcorn, pretty much the same. Everything is pretty much the same. I've cut a few little bits off here and there. I still need to transplant the corn. I'll do that sometime soon. The beans are doing okay. And the peas, no, there's one pod, and there's the other pod. Moving back across these, we've got, this one is this particular squash, which is a straight neck. Looks to be a female flower coming up, so I don't know if I'm going to get a fruit, but there's a pretty good bulb underneath that flower, so we'll see. Pretty much the same, but then we get to the tomato, and I posted a little comment last night on my own YouTube channel as if it was a blog. I've recaged it. This is just doing so much better now that the cage that I had taken off last year when I thought the plant was pretty much dead, I have now put back, along with some more of these bamboo stakes. One here, one in the back there, which basically was the one that was already there. I just didn't want to remove it and cause more damage. And one more up here to extend the cage up higher. So we've got, I can actually see buds right up here starting to form. We got buds, dead buds, live buds, but the real progress, which we can see a little better now, is the tomato. A singular tomato, but at the rate things are going, I found these buds growing, and they were down along here, along the bottom part of the railing. That's why I decided, part of why I decided to recage it, because the plant was just starting to expand its footprint so much. It made sense to put in the cage and give it a lot more support as it continues to grow. So I just keep adding water, and we'll see where we go with that. Meanwhile, downstairs, I think I determined that this was a straight neck. Don't see any flowers starting just yet, but it's still looking good. And we have continued progress here along the railing under the stairs, the area under the stairs. Here, that's the stairs I'm referring to. These are doing good. I've actually, amongst all the plants, actually there's a couple upstairs that I found a neighbor who liked squash, and gave her a couple of plants that were in pots pretty much like that. And I'm going to do sometime in the next couple of days a little bit more transplanting, because I found someone else who's interested in squash, and I'll give away a couple more plants. So that's starting to get the out of control back under control. Meanwhile, let's actually look real quickly here. Well, it's not terribly exciting. There is a flower on that one. There's a flower that looks like it came and went yesterday. So anyway, that's pretty much it for now. It's Thursday the 12th of May at a little before 1 p.m. and there's not too much of an update. I'll kind of give you a little drive-by here, but I wanted to give some folks a tip. For anybody that has a small garden on a balcony, kind of like mine, where there's people down below, and this planter doesn't have anything in it yet. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to put in it, but I had it, and I had a space now, so I figured I might as well put it up here. Anyway, so here's the tomato plant, and here's what I'm starting to talk about. With the tomato plant, as nice and tall as it is, I have a tray like this one here, well actually this one, underneath the tomato plant. That way, if I overwater the plant, the water will collect down here. The problem becomes, if I overwater a few days in a row, then the water starts to collect in the bottom, and it's not really draining out of the plant, which means that some of those roots may be actually just sitting in water. So what I did was I basically got that. I have an old large ice cream tub, which is just the perfect size for that pot. Actually, the pot theoretically should be bigger for this plant, but I'm not going to bother with that. So I basically just picked it up, moved it over, dropped it in there, because what I don't want is for the excess water to go up, or to go down, run along here, and out, So it ends up going downstairs because there's a little walkway down there and I don't want people getting dripped on, or I just don't want to have a puddle down there. It's just not nice to my neighbors. So if you want to be nice to your neighbors and you live in an area like I do, in an apartment building, that kind of situation, these trays are nice because they'll keep the water from dripping on your neighbors' heads and what have you. So anyway, now I'm going to move the plant back to its original tray and put it back. Okay, and in the time that it took me to empty the water out downstairs behind the dumpster, this is the water that collected in that ice cream bucket. So now it can drain into the original, but that should be better for the plant. Okay, it's Saturday, May 14th. It's just past 10. We'll give you the sort of drive-by up here, so you can kind of see some of the things happening or not happening. I did finally take one of the pea pods off of this little pea plant here. Pea pod plant, whatever you want to call it. We've got flowers again on the some of the squash. And actually, in this case, if you look at this one, that appears to be a female flower with an actual squash on it. I thought maybe, you know, I might get the flower and then it would die, but the flower's still there. The squash is getting bigger and bigger. So I'm a happy camper. And then across, I transplanted the sweet corn into a small planter box that actually has no drainage, so we'll see if that hurts them or not. I may decide later to drill a couple holes in the bottom, but it's actually made of wood, something that somebody threw out. Might as well recycle it. Moved this one plant, which I'm not sure if it's a pea or a lima bean or what. Figure that out eventually. I moved that from over here, which I'm trying to clean up. And then we've got buds, flowers on the tomato plant. And we've got the tomato, which I've cleared some of the dead foliage from around it, so now we get a good, nice clear look at that. So that's it from up here. And we have more flowers down here. Ooh, what a new one. Smokey's working his way up. I don't know if you can see him too well because he's gray, but there he is looking at the tree, looking back at us. He just hopped up against some of these planters over here. Anyway, I was going to say we have flowers on these two plants. One of these plants, there it is, has a female flower and what appears to be a little squash growing, and that is a Dixie or a crookneck. We have this one odd flower here I almost cut off, but it still seems to be viable, so we'll see what happens with that. Smokey's now on the stairs above me. Anyway, that's it from the shelves here. Hey Smokey, what you up to? Ah, he's found a new perch. We had another cat that liked the little perch here. That's what he decides to do. So I guess this update includes a little bonus of tracking Smokey. Hey Smokey. Alright, we'll let him explore. And we'll finish off with this particular one and Smokey trying to get back in the picture. I wanted to try and get a little video of this. Can't quite see. Sorry about the shakiness, but this is, I've got it zoomed in as much as I can because I'm not on the balcony. Trying to see if there's actual flowers growing. So I guess I'll shoot an actual high-res picture and go from there.